Hello again. Welcome. Yes, welcome to class 202. Are you ready? I'm going to spend this class again reviewing the simple past. But really, this is not a question of review. This is a question of consolidation. And consolidation requires 400 reviews, going back and reviewing the same thing 400 times until finally it's just part of you. It's part of your makeup, tu composición genética hasta. So we're going back. When did John Kennedy become president? When did Kennedy become president? He became president in 1961. When did Mr. Zapatero become the Prime Minister of Spain? He became the Prime Minister of Spain in 2004, I think, 2004. Richard, yes, when did you become an English teacher? I don't remember. I think in the siglo XIII, no? In the 13th century. Now, I became an English teacher in August 1974. And when did you become a father? I became a father in July 1980. In July 1980. And when did Primo de Rivera become the dictator of Spain? I think he became the dictator in 1923. And when did Alfonso XIII, when did Alfonso XIII become a husband? So when he got married, right? He became a husband, or he got married, I think, in 1906, 114 years ago. All right, how many records did you break yesterday? I broke one record. How many pencils did you break yesterday? Me? I didn't break any pencils. And how many plates did you break yesterday? At home? I didn't break any plates. No. Well, how many cups did you break? Cups like this? I didn't break any cups. But when you were young, did you break many cups? No, I didn't break many cups. I don't think I broke any. En español se diría creo que no rompí ninguna taza. En inglés se suele decir no creo que rompiera. I don't think I broke any cup. Okay, did you buy any pencils yesterday? No, I didn't buy any pencils yesterday. When did you buy those pencils? I bought these pencils last January. When did you buy that microphone? That microphone? I didn't buy it. Really? No, I didn't buy it. How did you get it? Somebody gave it to me. Who gave it to you? A media company in Spain gave it to me. And when did you buy this book? I didn't buy this book. It's mine. I made it. Well, when did you make this book? When did I create this book? I made this book. I created this book in 1997. 23 years ago. Well, this book exactly, no. This is a subsequent edition of the same method. And Richard, yes, when did you buy your telephone? I didn't buy it. You didn't buy it? No, I didn't. Did somebody give it to you? Yes, somebody gave it to me. Someone gave it to me. Who? Who gave it to you? No auxiliar, no hay verbo auxiliar. El sujeto es who. Who gave it to you? My son did. My son gave it to me. Really? Yes. When did he give it to you? He gave it to me almost 2 years ago. Really? Did he give it to you on a special occasion? Did he give it to you for your birthday? No, he didn't give it to me for my birthday. Well, when did he give it to you? For what occasion? He gave it to me for Christmas. Almost 2 years ago. Okay. Was he here that Christmas? Yes, he was. Does he live here? Excuse me? Does your son live here? No, he doesn't. Where does he live? He lives in Los Angeles. Oh. Was he living in Los Angeles Christmas 2 years ago? Yes, he was. Where does he live in Los Angeles? Does he live in the center of Los Angeles? No, not exactly. Does he live in Malibu? No, he doesn't. Does he live in Hollywood? No, he doesn't. Does he live in Beverly Hills? No, he doesn't. Where does he live? In LA, in Los Angeles. He lives in Long Beach. Is Long Beach near the center of Los Angeles? No. 30 minutes, perhaps, from the center of Los Angeles. It depends on the traffic. Is the traffic in Los Angeles bad? Bad? No. Worse than bad. The traffic in Los Angeles is impossible. It's terrible. So, did you talk to your son yesterday? No, I didn't talk to him yesterday. No, I didn't. When was the last time you talked? When was the last time you talked to your son? The last time I talked to him, the last time I talked to him was 3 days ago. Did you call him? No, I didn't. Well, how did you talk to him? I didn't call him. He called me. He called, yeah. Why did he call you? He called me to ask me a question. Did you answer the question? Yes, I answered the question. Was it a complicated question? No, it was a simple. It was a simple question. All right. Did you fight, Richard? Excuse me. Did you fight in the Korean War? Me? In the Korean War? Are you crazy? No, I didn't. Well, how old were you in the Korean War? I was born in the middle of the Korean War. When did the Korean War, la Guerra de Corea, con Kai in English, Korea, when did the Korean War start? It started in 1950. When did it end? When did it end? When did it end? It ended in 1953. How long did it last? It lasted 2.5 years. Where did it take place? It took place in Korea. In North Korea or in South Korea? Well, at that time, North Korea and South Korea didn't exist. Korea was one country, the Korean Peninsula. In 1953, after the truce, after the what? After the truce. Excuse me, Richard, what does truce mean? How do you spell it? How do we spell T-R-U-C-E? Truce. Good. What does it mean? Excuse me? How do you say truce in Spanish? Tregua. A truce. A tregua. Yeah, truce. Good. When was the truce? Well, the truce was in 1953. After the truce, there were 2 Koreas, North Korea and South Korea. And today, there are still 2 Koreas, North Korea and South Korea. And the truce still exists. There isn't a peace agreement. Peace, peace, escrito es paz. Acuerdo de paz? There's no. The same truce. Yes. 67 years. 67 years. Only a truce. So the war continues, but it's temporarily stopped. Parado. Parada. Stopped because of a truce. Very interesting. Okay, but so you didn't fight. No, I didn't fight. I was a baby. Did you fight in the Vietnam War? No, I didn't fight in the Vietnam War. Richard, yes. Do you know anybody who fought in the Vietnam War? Yes, I know a few people who fought in the Vietnam War. Do you know anybody who died in the Vietnam War? Yes, I knew 2 people who died in the Vietnam War. Were they friends? Well, friends, no, but I knew them. I knew them. And why didn't you fight in the Vietnam War? I didn't fight in the Vietnam War because I was in the university. And university students had a dispensation. So I didn't fight in the Vietnam War. When did you start teaching English? I started teaching English in 1974. Who was the President of the United States when you started teaching English? Let's see. I started teaching English in August 1974. And at that time, the President of the United States was Gerald Ford. After the resignation of Richard Nixon. All right. Who was the head of state? Who was the President of Spain in 1974? Well, Spain at that time, Spain didn't have a president. Spain had a head of state, jefe de Estado, and a prime minister. In 1974, when I started teaching English, Francisco Franco was the head of state, and Carlos Arias Navarro was the prime minister. The year before, another man was the prime minister, not Arias Navarro, but Francisco Franco. And who was the president of France when you started teaching English? You're asking me a lot of questions. The president of France, well, when I started teaching English in August 1974, I think the president of France was Valéry Giscard d'Estaing, but I'm not sure. I don't remember. Maybe it was Georges Pompidou, but I don't think so. I think he died in 1973 but I don't remember. Yeah, that's your homework after class. Okay. Did you fly to New York last year? Yes, I did. I flew to New York last year. Did you fly to Texas? Yes, I flew to Texas as well. Okay. Did you fly to China last year? No, I didn't. Well, when was the last time you flew to China? The last time I flew to China was in 2017. How many times did you fly to China in 2017? I flew to China once. And before that? Well, in 2016, I flew to China 3 times. Wow. So, in those 2 years, you flew to China 4 times. That's right. Well, where did you fly the first time? The first time I flew to Beijing. Did you fly nonstop? Yes, I flew nonstop. Nonstop is, fue un vuelo directo. It was a non-stop flight. And did you return in the same flight? Well, the same flight? No, I returned in the same route. Yes, nonstop. And the second time, where did you fly? The second time I went to China, I flew from Madrid to Beijing. And the same morning, the same time, I changed planes, and I flew from Beijing to Shenyang. Where's Shenyang? Shenyang is in Manchuria. Where's Manchuria? Manchuria is in the northwest of China, similar to Catalonia, in the northeast, similar to Catalonia in the Iberian Peninsula, Manchuria. And Shenyang is the historic capital. Is it near the North Korean border? Yes, it's relatively near the North Korean border, the Yalu River. And did you fly back to Madrid from Shenyang or from Beijing? I flew back to Madrid from Beijing. And did you fly back to Beijing from Shenyang? No, I didn't. I took a train. I took a train from Shenyang to Beijing. How long did it take? It took 5 hours. Was it a fast train? Yes, it was. Like the AVE in Spain. It was a bullet train. It took me 5 hours to travel from Shenyang to Beijing. And on the third time, where did you go? The third time, I flew to Beijing. Oh, nope, and to Shenyang, the same. But this time, I didn't fly to Shenyang. I went to Shenyang on the train, and I came back to Beijing on the train. And finally, where did you fly the fourth trip in 2017 or 2017? I flew to Xiamen. Xiamen. How do you spell it? It's with an X. It starts with Xiamen with an X. Where is that? It's on the coast. On the Chinese coast. Yes, it's on the Chinese coast. Is it near the Korean peninsula? No, it's not. Is it near Shanghai? Not really. Not really. No, it's not. Is it near Hong Kong in the south? Not really, no. It's not near Hong Kong. Well, where is it? It's equidistant between Shanghai and Hong Kong. But it's a very far distance, eh? And how many days did you stay in Xiamen? I stayed in Xiamen about 5 or 6 days. Did you have a good time? Si me lo pasé bien. Yes, I had a good time. Was the weather nice? Yes, the weather was nice. A little bit humid, but the weather was nice. The weather was nice. And did you go on business or for pleasure? To Xiamen, I went on business. And did you fly back to Madrid from Xiamen? Yes, I flew back. I flew back to Madrid from Xiamen, but not non-stop. Well, what itinerary, what route? First, I flew from Xiamen to Canton. And then I flew from Canton to Amsterdam. And then I flew from Amsterdam to Madrid. Whew. It was a long flight. Well, what is it? 3 flights. Yes, it was long. Were you tired when you got back to Madrid? Not really. Well, yes, I was tired when I got back. Were you glad to get back? Excuse me? Were you glad to get back? Glad. Si me alegraba. O me alegré. Yes, I was glad to get back to Madrid. But did you have a good time in Xiamen, in China? Yes, I had a good time in China. But I was glad to be back. To be back. Se dice mucho to be back. Estar de regreso, estar de vuelta. Me alegraba de estar de vuelta. Of course, I was glad to be back. Richard, yes. Are you planning to go back to China next month? No, I'm not. I'm not planning to go back. Are you planning to go back to China in the future? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe, maybe not. Did you drive anywhere yesterday? Yes, I did. Where did you drive? I drove here. Oh, really? Yeah. I did this class yesterday. I drove here. And when you finished, what did you do? When I finished my show yesterday, when I finished this class yesterday, I drove back home. Ah, you drove back home. Did you stop on the way? Excuse me? Did you stop on the way home? Camino de casa. On the way home. On the way home. What's the question? Did you stop? Okay, yesterday you drove here. That's true. Yeah, I drove here. But then when I finished, I drove back home. I know, but my question is, did you stop on the way home? No, I didn't. I didn't stop on the way home. Well, did you stop on the way here? Yesterday. Yes, I did. I stopped. Stopped. ¿A qué cuesta? Inténtalo. Bueno, no es difícil si lo practicas mucho, ¿eh? El problema de mis alumnos es que realmente no me siguen las pautas cuando digo practica en voz alta. Stopped. Yes, yesterday when I came here, or when I drove here, I stopped along the way. Along the way or on the way? Both. Por lo que más te guste. Whichever one you prefer. Whichever pencil you prefer. Whichever one you prefer. The white one, the brown one? Which one? Well, whichever. It doesn't matter. Whichever one you prefer. And on the way, along the way, whichever you prefer. But yes, yesterday I stopped along the way. I stopped on the way here. On the way here. Camino de aquí. On the way here. Along the way here. But why did you stop? Well, I stopped at traffic lights. Okay. That doesn't count. Eso no cuenta. Me has preguntado si paré. Camino de aquí. Claro, paré en muchos semáforos. I stopped in traffic lights. Yes, but that's not you understand my question, Richard. Why did you stop for any specific reason? Yes, I did. I stopped. Why did you stop? I stopped to get gas. To get gas. Conseguir gas. ¿Eso qué es? That's an American expression to fill my gas tank, the gasoline tank, el depósito. I needed gasoline. Now, in American English, normally we say gas. Gas has basically two meanings. Gas, gaseoso, y gasolina. Specifically, gasoline. And we say the tank, tanque, como para depósito, o para cisterna. It's a tank. Además de un tanque militar. Tank. So I filled the tank yesterday. Yeah. And American people and Canadian people, you say, I got some gas. The British, petrol. Petrol, the British say. At a service station, a petrol station. Yes, so I stopped yesterday for gasoline. And then I came here. And I did the class. And when I finished the class, I drove home. I drove home with a full tank of gasoline. Did you grow last year? Te he dicho en otras clases. I told you in other classes I didn't grow. I'm not growing anymore. I'm too old to grow. When I was a teenager, I stopped I think I stopped growing when I was 13. Yes, I think I stopped growing. I reached, alcancé, 1 meter 80 when I was 13. Because I remember, my last year of primary school, I was one of the tallest pivot in Bano. I was the center in basketball. 2 years later, I was the guard. All right, so I was jugaba de base. 2 years later, I was the guard, not the center. So I think I stopped growing. Claro, dejar de va seguido de gerundio. To stop smoking, to stop teaching. Richard, when are you going to stop teaching? Never. And when did you stop growing? I think I stopped growing when I was 13. And now I'm going to stop teaching until tomorrow.